up, people? This is Chef Ed.
And I'm Jane Harris.
Welcome to the Chef and the Wigmaker.
I'm so excited to be here. It's been a while, too long.
It has been too long, but we're back.
We're back heavy.
Let's do this. I have some questions for you,
And I have some questions for you.
so let's jump right into it,
A
right?
few things have changed, but I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, most
So let's rock
definitely.
and roll. What do you have going on today?
All right. So if someone comes up to you with a wig concept, a wig business, and they want to get started, a wig idea, how do you take them from concept to a fully scalable business that is ready to make revenue?
That's a good question. Now, I do love helping people start wig businesses, but the truth is, I like to start with the mindset first because there's a lot of decisions that need to be made from do you want to be a luxury wig business? Do you want to sell wigs for everyday women? So, that right there, when they answer that question, then I'm able to take them to the next level. So, I help them with logo design, I help them with distribution because some people want to sell wigs, but how do you want to sell wigs? If you're a stay-home mom and you have a baby, which what I had when I started my wig business, I couldn't do a wig business doing custom orders from the beginning. So it was important for me to do wigs that matched my lifestyle because the wig business has so many different aspects to it. Now, you can either go into custom made wigs or you can go into wigs that are ready to wear, right? Or you can go into wigs that other people can work on. So once we get that question out of the way in terms of what types of wigs you want to sell, I'm able to take you from coming up with the name of the business to actually selling the wigs to your ideal client.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you could take them through fulfillment. You can get them up and
Yes.
running. You help them with websites too, like
Of
everything
course,
from
of
start to
course.
finish.
From start to finish. I mean, it's literally a turnkey business.
So done for you.
So, for example, I had a nurse. She already has a full-time job as a nurse, and she wanted to start a wig business. First of all, she doesn't have time.
Yeah.
So we were able to take her from doing the photo shoot for her, picking the models, picking the wardrobe for the models,
Nice.
coming up with 30-day content, and we're able to record and film within one day. And she walked away with like 60 days worth of content, brand name, brand logo, and a brand voice. So all she had to do was show up. That was
Nice.
it. So that, to me, that's one of the fun parts about what I do is when I get to do that. It's so much fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have a question for me?
I do. Chef. I do.
I
This
can't
is a
wait to
good
hear
one.
this.
This is a good one.
Talk to me.
So, Chef, when you walk in a restaurant or a food business, what are the first things you notice that tell you what people or how people are operating, if people are operating at their highest, and or if they're leaving money on the table, which is something I hear you say all the time. You're leaving money on the table. How do you figure that out when you walk in?
I like that question because it really lets people understand, a few things. When I walk into a restaurant, I'm always looking first at the experience that the employees are giving the customers, right? How are they greeting people as you walk into the restaurant? What's the energy? Are they, hello, good morning, how can I help you? Things like that is automatically a red flag,
That's
right?
so big.
So, how is the experience? How is the interaction? And then in the back, like, how does it look? Is the kitchen clean?
Eesh.
Are they working off of recipes, or is it people just doing things off of the top of their head because they've been doing it for so long, right? So there are a lot of different nuances. And then the other thing I would look at is how is ordering being done? Are things being coming into the kitchen, into the restaurant at different times, right? How are you taking orders? Is there places in the restaurant that show people what the restaurant is about? If it's, let's say, if it's QSR, a quick service restaurant, right, where it's not fine dining per se. So do you have places that are telling people about your business, about the culture of it, right? So I'm looking for these different things, and overall the interaction. How is the chefs? How is the line cooks? How are the servers treating the customers? So these are things that I really look for, and once I can see that, I automatically know these are the areas that I can work on with this particular client.
So do you expose them off the top, or you gotta bring them in slowly? Like, cause not as a restaurant owner, it's sometimes it's hard to hear those things, especially if
Yeah.
you're trying to make it work.
I mean, the thing is, it's hard to hear it, but if you are not trying to go belly up and you want to have your business
Say it again.
succeed, then it's a
You
hard
need
truth.
to hear it. You're right.
But obviously, there are ways to go about doing that, right? You don't just kill their dream and tell them, oh, you're going about this the wrong way. You're like, these are the things I feel you should work on, and you hired me basically to fill those holes, right? So
Right.
that's my approach to letting them know what are the things that they need to work on.
That's very good. That's very good. Chef, it's your turn. That was a good
Oh,
one. Good
snap.
job. Good job. Good job. I
Okay.
like
Next
this.
question. Let me see. What makes your approach to building a brand, especially in the wig business, so different from what people can get anywhere else?
That's a good question. I think for me, after 15 years of mistakes, and I've had some successes, but I feel like my mistakes, I've really benefited from. Not only have I benefited from my mistakes, but my clients have benefited from my mistakes. For example, I when I moved from New York to Atlanta,
Hmm.
right? And we wanted to do billboards.
Yes.
We spent thousands of dollars on those billboards were supposed to be our launch in this new market.
Hmm.
And I think, I don't even want to quote the amount, but we spent a lot of zeros on those billboards. And to think that we didn't even put a call to action on
Big
the billboards
mistake.
because we didn't know any better.
We did.
Right? We had the it was such a great idea to where we landed one of our best sit down. I think it was Jermaine Dupri's father.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, I saw your billboard and I want to have a meeting with you. And he pointed out the mistake we made on the
Yeah.
billboard, which I thought was,
Thank you for that, by the
thank
way.
you if you watch this. Like, he was like, you had a great idea with we had the best, most beautiful models, great marketing, didn't have a call to action.
Yeah.
So I think that mistake really
Rookie
taught me
mistake.
that you could be in the right path with the right this, right that, and one thing that doesn't call people to action
Yeah.
can just, all that money went down the drain. So I think with my year of experience and my humility, like, I am not afraid to fail, and
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to talk about my failures because they've made me who I am. And I think that approach to all my clients has really benefited a lot of my clients. I'm like, look, I've been down this road.
Yeah.
This is what I did right. This is what I did wrong. And they're able to kind of use that as leverage for their business. So
Nice. It's always good when you can, learn from your mistakes, obviously, right?
100%,
And I think there are
100%.
no wrong moves. It's
No,
just things that you learn from and you keep going, right?
I agree.
So
I
I really
agree.
like that.
Yeah, I agree. So, Chef, it's your turn. So, you've helped many people create products from scratch. What do most entrepreneurs underestimate about launching a successful spice blend, source, or like, even if they want to do like regular food or whatever food product, what would you say that is?
Hmm. First thing I would say is, overthinking it, right? Like, people don't realize, but it's really easy to launch a product, as long as you have the right things in place. And that's one, your vendor, right? But I think what ultimately slows people down, even stops them in their tracks, is the fact that a lot of vendors, a lot of co-packers, a lot of private label companies, their minimums is massive. So, you can launch a spice brand, but depending on the vendor you go to, your minimum could be 12 pieces per SKU, or it could be 5,000 pieces per SKU, right? And that just really varies just on the vendor you go to, because obviously there are companies that are much bigger. So their initial run has to be big because they're a big company, and that's just how it works. But then your smaller companies, they have small runs because they're a small company. So you just have to find the companies that can work with your budget, right? Because bigger runs, bigger SKUs means more money you're paying. So you could end up paying $500 to start a company, start a brand, start a line, or you could pay $5,000, $50,000. I remember when we launched the pancake and waffle mix, I was still new to launching products,
Super
and
green.
I didn't realize that I could find a vendor with a much lower minimum. So we were stuck with like what, 5,000,
No, no,
no, 10,000 boxes,
10,000 boxes.
10,000 boxes of mix. And, you know, thank God I was able to get rid of most of it in terms of selling, but it was the pressure to be able
But you
to
see
do
what you
that.
said?
The
Get
pressure.
rid of.
Yeah.
It became a burden.
Yeah.
Because there was like, how many boxes can you sell?
Exactly.
Especially when you have a new concept. Here
A
you
new
are
business.
working with new business, marketing, fighting. You didn't get a loan, so it was like a bootstrap.
Yeah.
And then it's crippling. Like, it's
It
so
is.
stressful. And I don't want, and thank God we already had one business.
Yeah.
To have a new business where that's your bread and butter, and you have this, like,
put all
you
that
would
money
literally
into
give
it.
up.
Yeah.
You would give up.
So, and then you're battling the elements, right? So now you're working against time, right? You're working against an expiration date.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
you're
Yes.
under pressure to sell all of these things. So you're not thinking straight.
You're stressed
So,
out.
you know, that in itself is just something that will end
It will
anyone,
end your business.
basically.
Yes.
So finding the right vendor is super important. So, you know, after launching over 50 products, thank God we have access to vendors that we can work with and help other people launch their products, because now we know that there are vendors out there that can actually work with you, smaller minimums, and just be there in terms of getting you right, so you're not worrying about selling this massive amount of product.
I love the fact that if they have high minimums, you don't put them on your vendor
No, for
list.
what?
I love that because a lot of people
Yeah.
need to hear that because people get convinced and they get lied to
Yes.
that, well, if you get a high minimum, I can reduce the price by $2. It doesn't matter
Who
if how much,
cares?
if you can't sell it, it don't matter.
Exactly.
So don't
They're
let them,
good.
please don't let them convince you. Don't let them convince you to get a high minimum
Yeah.
for nothing. Like
Yeah.
it's not worth it. You will be in trouble. Start with a company that allows you to do low minimums. You
Yeah.
can get companies out in the US that can do 12 pieces or 24 pieces, and that's all you need. Especially when you have a spice line. First of all, you don't even know your clientele. You're new to the business. You're struggling, and then you have this 50,000 what is seasoned salt? No, it's not worth it. Once you do twice, 3 times, and then you have the market for it, then you could go crazy.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, don't let them sell you high minimums. It's a
Yeah.
lie.
Thank you.
I just that just really passionate about that. Like, no, I don't want nobody to get into it.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready for
Yes,
question
I
number two?
am. Born ready.
All right. What makes your approach to building a brand, especially in the wig industry, so different? I asked you that already, didn't
You
I?
did. You
Oh my
did.
goodness.
That's okay. That's
All
okay.
right. Awesome.
Okay.
Number three then.
Yes.
Okay. I've watched you run photo shoots and content days. How do you help entrepreneurs create content that actually converts, especially when they don't know where to start or know what they're doing?
Okay, that's a good one. Now, I think when people see my social media, because I feel like my social media page is my resume. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how to do it if I'm not doing it.
True that.
And I've done it for 15 years straight. Like, I think I take a couple of days here and there, but 15 years I've been on social media and it's been fun. I think my mindset approach to content is the beginning of it. Like, I think people are really stressed out and intimidated about content, but for me, content is everything. It's every day. It's what I breathe, right?
True.
So I tell my clients to document more than do photo shoot, just document. So if I have the opportunity to help my clients do content, when they come in, I'm like, from when you landed at the airport, I need you to record yourself coming out the plane. Because I think people just want the dolled up version of what's going on.
Yeah.
When the truth is they want the behind the scenes. They
Yes.
want how you get ready, what state of mind, what kind of coffee did you drink? Did you drink coffee or not? I mean, for some people it's too much information, but just taking glimpse or rather pieces of what goes
The
on in
day to
your
day.
day. Exactly. So when
Yeah.
you document, you never ever run out of content.
True.
So what I do with photo shoots, I tell my clients too, I have made thousands of dollars from bathroom selfies. Like my business started with a bathroom selfie. Like
Yeah.
literally, look at my hair. That was it. Like that generated 20K just from a bathroom selfie. So at the end of the day, customers, they don't really care if you shoot with the best videographer, photographer. They don't mind it, but that's not the only type of content you need to post, right? So people want to see all types of content, right? So I usually would say when you come in on a photo shoot day, we're not just focused on what the videographer or photographer is going to do. We're also taking what's on your cell phone, your what's in your stories and stuff like that. So I make it really easy. Like seeing content as something that shouldn't be intimidating, because the truth is, even for the people who don't like doing content, in this day and age, you can't eat if you don't have content. Even doctors and lawyers, they do content days now
True that.
because that's the only way to get social proof. Like people need to see a recording of what you're doing. So
I agree. Content is king.
content has always been king.
All right.
Chef Ed,
Talk to me.
so I want to ask you this, right? If someone came to you with just an idea, no formulas, no name, no branding, nothing, what does the journey look like? Um, Let me see. Yeah, what does the journey look like when you help them turn an idea into a finished, sellable product?
Okay. The process. That's easy. So first things first, we figure out what it is you want to launch, right? Is it sauces? Is it seasonings? Is it pancake and waffles? Like whatever
Let's
it
say
is.
spices. I want to do a spice line. I want to
All
have
right.
my grandma recipe. I want to put it on bottles. I want my name on the bottle. Yeah.
Easy. Okay. So first things first, we formulate a recipe, right? Once we have that recipe,
Who's formulating the recipe?
I am.
Okay, good.
All right. So I'll formulate a recipe for you, and then I will get samples created. I get that to you. You try it. Once you say, no, my grandma used more garlic, I go back
Okay.
in, I add the recipe, I update the recipe, add more garlic in there. Is it garlic powder? Is it garlic flakes,
Mm.
granules? Like, we can get very granule with this, right? And then once we fine tune that, then you taste it. Once you're
Okay.
good to go with that, then it's the next step, which is getting the packaging ready, getting the label done. Once we have that together, and all of this I'm doing with you, right? So you don't
Okay.
have to do any of this. Basically, once you taste it and you're good to go, then I work on getting everything ready for you with my team, right? So we get the bottles ready, we get the labeling done. If you're doing pouches, we get that, but you said a bottle. So we would pick a bottle, we would pick the caps that you want to
I want my
use.
grandma picture on the bottle.
Easy, right? So we'll create a logo. Once that label is done, we put that on there, they package it, then I can help you with fulfillment. So some people want to ship things themselves, which is not a good idea.
God forbid.
Exactly. So I would help you get set up with a fulfillment center. So once your spices are done, the company will send it to the fulfillment center. They will house it for you. They will also ship it for you. And then I can even help you with a website to connect all of this. So basically, it's turnkey. So we get the product ready. You taste it. You sign off on it. It gets created. It gets sent to fulfillment. Fulfillment then ships once your orders come in. We work on your website as well. We get you up and running from start to finish. So basically, the only thing you have to do is market your product.
Nice.
You won't even have to go to the post office to ship.
So when I see them girls with the packages at the post office, I feel bad.
I
I think
mean,
that's just for marketing. Like nobody realistically wants to be printing out a label and shipping it out.
yeah.
That
To me,
that
it's time lost.
it's just unnecessary
Yeah, because you could use that time to do
to
so many
create
other
new
things
products.
to work on your business. You know what I mean? Like manually shipping is not necessarily in today's day and age. Before, yes, right? But now you have companies, fulfillment companies that will literally hold your product for you and they're shipping, it costs pennies, right? Like to hold these things. So you're paying the same amount for shipping. The time it spends for you to print all of the labels,
Mm.
put them on the bags, package them, seal them, drive to FedEx or UPS or USPS. Like all of that could be done for you. So literally, you're sleeping and you're making money. Your orders are being shipped out, they're being fulfilled, and you haven't lifted a finger. Like that's how we set you up.
I remember when we were in Thailand. It was right before Thanksgiving. We had that big Thanksgiving sale,
Yeah,
and I remember our clients saw us in Thailand
yeah,
because they were in the Insta story,
of
like, "Oh,
course.
Jane, have fun!" But the whole time they're waiting for their tracking number,
Yeah,
and when they got their tracking number, it was a shock.
yeah,
I remember clients like, "How are you doing it? Right? How are you in Thailand?" And I'm getting my package shipped out the next day. It just it for as a small business, it can make you seem huge
yes,
and it's not huge as in money, just huge as in process.
yes,
And the fact that you can do that not paying but a few pennies on the dollar,
yeah,
why not do it?
100%.
So I think that's such a great thing to be able to do.
Yes. So that's what
Yes.
we do.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Cool.
So you got a question for me?
Of course I do. You have a gift for pairing entrepreneurs with the right virtual assistants. What makes you so effective at hiring and training VAs, and how does that help your business grow faster or a business grow faster?
I've seen businesses that were about to perish
Hmm.
and they just needed a $5 an hour virtual assistant.
Yeah.
This is a very sensitive subject because I took the most important part, like our most successful year in business was probably one of my hardest year in business because as much as we were successful on paper,
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed. Like
Yeah.
that's the year that our marriage was in shambles because I was doing everything in the with the business and everyone's like, good job. I think that's the year we made our first million, but we were the marriage was about to go to whatever. And I was like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of this? We were good when you were working at the restaurant and I'm working at the shoe store. Like I would have been good with that life. I don't want to sacrifice my marriage for what, income?
Yeah.
Like it didn't make, and you don't know that until you make
You're
that
in it.
first million. And you're like, oh, I finally did it. For what? Like, first of all, you don't even get the whole million. You have taxes. You got all this stuff. And you're like, it's not even worth it, right?
Yeah.
But the reason was because I did not have the right people in place. I didn't have the right help. I remember when we hired our first virtual assistant, that literally changed my life. I'm like, wait. I don't have to check my emails? I don't have to respond to my DMs? I don't have to call clients anymore. Do you know how much time that freed me up. I had so much time that I started homeschooling my kids. And I haven't looked back. It's been what, 6 years now?
Yeah.
I started homeschooling the kids with that time. So imagine, I just literally changed my generation. Now my kids are homeschooled, learning investing and stockbroking and all that stuff because I'm teaching them, he's teaching them. So now the next generation is going to be superb because we're already ahead, and we're able to do that because we homeschool, and we were able to homeschool because I hired a VA. Do you see how that it not only helped my business, but it's helping my personal life, changing my what? So when I meet entrepreneurs and I ask them, I'm like, so what's the problem? Well, I don't have money for payroll. I'm like, how much are you paying people to help you check your DMs and check your emails? Well, $25, $30 an hour, which is kind of standard for a US based assistant. I'm like, what if I told you I can hire you a virtual assistant for $5 an hour or less? And they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, seriously, my entire business right now is run by some great virtual assistants. I have like 6 now that I work with. Looking to hire 3 more because we're starting a new business. You'll be surprised how much that can really change your business. So when I meet entrepreneurs, that's the first thing I try to pair them with. There's some businesses that come to me just to hire them a VA. I've been able to hire VAs for chefs. I just hired one for a really amazing chef. Not you, chef. You're great too, but actually another chef that I work with. And I've been able to hire VAs for stay-home moms. A stay-home mom who doesn't want to do groceries all the time, send flowers to friends, run her business. I mean, not her business, but the business of being a wife. Because be a wife, a stay-home mom, that's a business. Making sure that everything in the house is in line. Like she needed a virtual assistant to do that. And she's so happy creating homework and stuff with the kids. And recently hired a virtual assistant for somebody who lost their job.
Yeah.
They needed to be able to apply for multiple jobs, and they were getting frustrated. And, instead of applying for 50 jobs, now they can apply for 500 jobs because they have a virtual assistant that they can afford to help them land a gig, right? So I've done real estate agents. I mean, it's just when people know that they can afford payroll, they're able to fly. Like they're able to apply for grants. Like, the average person, do you know the average person applies for like 3 or 4 grants a month and they think they've done something? When you have a VA, they can apply to 5, 10 grants a day for you. So now you have more of a chance to get a grant. So just having the right help for the right price makes a big difference. So I think I do that with more passion because of my background. Before I started selling wigs, I was a shoe store manager and I was responsible for hiring people for the shoe store. So I have 30 years of experience of working with people and hiring people, but now more than ever, being able to pair them with a virtual assistant for that kind of price, it's awesome. Actually rewarding.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah. I don't know if I went all over the place, but I think I landed the answer.
Yeah, you did. You did good.
So I have a question for you, Chef.
What's that?
I have a question. Let's see coming up. Say, okay. You teach everything from wok technique to high-end Asian flavor. So what do you think most chefs or home cooks are doing wrong when they try to cook Asian food?
Ooh, it's a juicy question.
Very juicy.
All right. So first things first, right? What people don't realize, in any Asian kitchen that has woks, the reason the food tastes the way it does is because of the wok, right? And this is a flavor you cannot replicate at home. It doesn't matter what kind of wok you buy. It's just impossible. And the reason it's impossible is because the stoves, aka the burners that are used to cook in kitchens that have woks, are like jet engines. When you turn them on, they literally sound like a jet engine. And your stove will never do that. So that's one reason why it doesn't happen, right? 2 is the BTUs. At home, your stove is giving off, I don't know, a couple thousand BTUs. In an industrial kitchen where there are woks, it's 100,000.
So BTU, educate me, sir. Is it like the heat?
Butane. So it's literally the power that your stove, the gas comes out.
Oh, I see.
Right? So the flames, literally, if you were to turn on a wok in a Chinese kitchen and put food in it, it will burn your food in 5 to 10 seconds. Like, that's how hot it gets, right? So because of that, that's why when you see the guys cooking in the kitchen, they're constantly moving the wok, because if they leave it still, the food burns. So that creates this thing called wok hei, which is what gives you that flavor. This is why Chinese food tastes the way it does. And you can't replicate that at home no matter how much you try. Like, you can get, fractions of that. You can get, nuances of that flavor, but that true deep wok hei flavor, you can't replicate it without having a wok in your kitchen, right? So I would say that's one of the major reasons why people, when they try to replicate Asian food in terms of taste, they can't get that type of taste. But if you're talking about soy sauce, lemongrass, garlic, ginger, those kind of things, that's easy, by combining those flavors. So you can get some of the Asian flavor, you just can't get 100% of that Asian flavor based on what you would get from using a wok to do stir fry to make fried rice or, anything like that.
So how did you learn how to use a wok?
So I worked in New York for a while. And while I worked in New York, I worked at a restaurant called Budokan in New York City. And I was there for 5 years. So I got to train with a master dim sum chef. I got to train with these amazing older Asian guys. So let me tell you a quick story, right? So working in Budokan, the kitchen was massive. There was like 70 people working at once, right? The station itself, the wok station had 6 people. The grill station had 3. The fish station had 3 people. The dumpling station had 4. Garmager had 3 people. So this was a massive kitchen just to put out the food for service, right? That's not counting the prep people and the women that did all of the dumplings, right? So with the wok station, I was literally the first non-Asian guy to be let on the wok station because I just didn't take no for an answer. And
It was like the mafia. You
it
couldn't
really
get
was.
in.
They were like,
You
nah,
couldn't
bro,
get
you
in.
can't
I don't
get
care
in
how
here.
good you are.
And, for me, it was like, I have to learn this because I was so passionate about learning how to cook on a wok. Like, it was like my dream before I got that
How did
job.
you sneak in there?
I just was, very nice. You know what I mean? No,
For
nice.
real?
No, but seriously, I was like, I want to learn, and I didn't take no for an answer. So I just was very helpful. So anytime they needed something, I was the first person to do it. I was just ready to help. So they're like, all right, you're cool. You're always helpful when we need something. So little by little, I started breaking down, and this was, of course, before we turned vegan. So I would help them break down the ducks. I would help them get that ready. I would help them butcher certain things. Just get the mise en place ready for service. So because of that, they were like, all right, no problem. And then at the time, the co-chef, Chef Yang, which is a dear friend and buddy of mine, he was like, guys, give him a chance. Let's see what he can do. So because of that, they had to listen because Chef Yang was the OG. They couldn't say no to him. So Chef Yang was the liaison between them and me. And once
Wow.
he said, okay, they let me in. And of course, I ripped him, like I was the guy. So I was able to just be a sponge and just soak up all that information. And it's allowed me to take that knowledge and train other people, open up a restaurant in the Hyatt, to train the whole staff to cook on a wok. So it's really done a lot for me in terms of,
Opportunities.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just happy that I was able to learn from them and take that knowledge and keep it with me to now use that knowledge to teach other people, because it's not something that you can, it's a different way of cooking, right? Like when you're sauteing, you're just going back and forth and you're kind of doing that. But with a wok, it's a rhythm involved, and you're using your hands to hold the wok and the spoon. You're using your knees to turn on the wok, to turn it off.
What?
Like it's a song and dance that you have to really learn. So
Wow.
you can't just go on there and be like, oh, I'm gonna cook
I didn't
on
know
a
about
wok.
the knees.
Yeah, because of where the burner knob is. So you're not gonna stop to use your hands because
Oh,
your hands are busy.
snap.
So you're using your knees to control the gauge
no,
to
you can
get it
miss me
all the
with
way
that.
on or hot. So the first couple months, your knees are bruised.
What?
Because you're new, so you don't really know the nuances
You
of
can miss
turning
me
it
with the
on.
wok.
You know what I mean?
What?
But it's
I
such
didn't
a
know
dope.
about the knees. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew about the rhythm of it, but the knees?
Yeah, the knees. It's an amazing experience if you can learn how to do it. Like I would jump on a wok any day and cook.
I
Like,
know.
it's my favorite place to cook. You can't cook that food anywhere else.
Jeez. That's awesome.
Word. All right.
I like wok.
Yeah.
Wok?
Wok hey. Yeah.
It's the flavor from a wok.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. All right. So I have one more question for you, right?
Maybe you got 2 more. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, 2 more. Okay. Beyond the systems, you're also a confidence coach and a motivational speaker.
Ooh.
How does mindset and working with you weekly change the way your clients show up?
Okay, I think okay, I coach every week, and I didn't start off as a coach.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't want to be a coach, to be honest with you. But I saw that a lot of entrepreneurs had the right product, the right concept, and they just stopped. I'm like, what happened? Why did you stop? They had a bad week. They had
Yeah.
a bad month, and they had a bad year, and they're like, well, it's not meant to be. So I
Hmm.
realized that. I'm like, well, what keeps me going?
Yeah.
It is my mind. I think that's the same mindset I had when I literally thought we could start a beauty business with $500, like, and without going to hair school. Just like with anything else I've been involved with, I've just been, my mind has been stronger than my environment,
Yeah.
because sometimes when I look around, it doesn't, I shouldn't be successful. It doesn't look like I should be, even being a wife and a mom, like nothing really paved the way for me besides my mind. So regardless of what I teach anyone or help anyone to do, I think the best gift that I've given my students and my mentees is letting them know that they are unstoppable in their mind. And once they can believe that they're unstoppable in their mind, everything else becomes easy. So I started a mentorship program where we meet every week, and I just remind them, I'm like, you can do this. And just that conversation every week, by us sharing our wins and kind of learning about each other and knowing that, hey, it can be hard, but we can pull through this, has really helped. So I think mindset is key. I recommend books that have changed my life. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by
Hmm.
Joseph
I
Murphy,
love that book.
and a bunch of other books. Like, even if you don't read books, just read that one book every day.
Yeah, it's a
You
good
know,
book.
the first time I read that book, I was making $100,000 a year. Next time I read it, I was at $100,000 every 4 months. Next, it just kept going up, because that book will have your mind,
It
on a
changed our lives.
what?
Yeah.
Like, it would literally have you thinking you're Superman.
Thanks, Mom.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the book. So I think just, I changed my life, my mind. So I'm like, they can do it too, because I'm
Hmm.
an immigrant. Like, I barely speak English, and I made it happen. You can do it.
So you basically telling them use the force.
Use the force. But your mind is the most powerful place. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of what line of business, you're a doctor, lawyer, a cleaning lady, or a driver, chef, hairstylist. If the mind is not right,
It's a mental game.
then it can't. Like, it's all mental.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's all mental. Like, this girl did not go to hair school, yet I run an amazing wig business. Like, how do you do that? I really believed that I could. That was it.
If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Mindset.
I love mindset. So, Chef, I have a question for you.
Talk to me.
You always talk about helping people build a real legacy. How does creating better systems, better products, and better food actually change someone's future?
Whew. That's a heavy one.
Yeah.
So I think creating better systems, puts you in a place to win. Creating better products. At the end of the day, if you are struggling and you're just barely trying to keep up and you're just like fighting for survival, right?
Jeez.
You're not going to be in a place to win. You're not going to be in a place to create, right? So the minute you can have better systems in place, the minute you can actually have products that are doing what they're supposed to do, it allows you to then focus on the things that really matter, right? It allows you to focus on actually building that legacy.
Mm.
So once you have those systems in place, that's money coming in, right? Because now you're not thinking about, oh, how do I order properly? How do I get my employees trained? These are systems that you've already put in place. So that's done. And then, of course, you're thinking about your products. Once those products are where they're supposed to be, you've developed them in a place where the seasonings are right, the recipes are right.
Mm.
This allows you to just fly, right? And by doing that, it puts you in a different state of mind, right? You're not operating from a deficit, right? Now you're operating from a neutral place. So it allows you breathing room
Oh.
to actually do the things that matter, right? And by doing that, that's how you slowly start to build any legacy that you're looking to put forward into the world to help your family, to make your business thrive. It's crazy when I talk to people and they have everything they need to do great, but they're just missing one or two things, right? And because they're new to this business, they don't know that they're missing these things. I remember one group I helped, I went into the establishment and these guys have been open for decades, but
Decades.
I mean, crazy. And they had not one recipe written down anywhere.
What?
So everyone was working off of what they remember. So if someone didn't come to work, who was making that food? So, things
Wow.
like that. So
Yeah.
I went in there
Yeah.
and I was like, guys, the first thing we need to do is get all the recipes on paper. So regardless of if the person that normally makes it is not here, you still have a team that can execute it because you have a recipe book that you can follow.
That's the McDonald's effect.
I'm
I
telling you,
love it.
right?
Yeah.
So the minute I brought in the recipe book, they were like, "Oh man, thank you so much. We've never had a recipe book."
Wow.
You know, everyone was elated because now they felt more at ease that they can execute any dish that's on the menu,
Regardless, yeah.
regardless of who calls out or who didn't show up or who got fired or whatever the case may be.
Wow.
So, you know, simple things like that is how you create legacy, right? Because now you can hand this book down, you can pass it down, right? If you're not there, you know that it's being done properly because you have these things in place, hence the systems, right?
I love that you just simplified what systems means. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, they're in rooms where they hear system, and nobody wants to ask what are
don't
you
break it
talking
down.
about, right? Because you're like, I'm
They're too
supposed to
proud.
know. They're too, they don't want to.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs are like, well, I'm the boss, I shouldn't ask. But what systems really mean is a way of doing things, like just having
Effortlessly.
a recipe.
Yeah.
For me, it's just how many curls per bang that we need to do. Like, it don't have to be
Yeah.
anything complicated. Just, can somebody do the thing that you do if you're not there?
Yep,
And how can you make that happen? So thank you
Yes.
for simplifying systems.
that's what I do.
Yeah. Do you have a question for me?
Yes, I believe I do, Jane Harris. Are you ready?
Been ready.
It's a doozy.
It's no, I'm not worried.
You've created digital products that help people start and scale businesses. Which ones do you think every entrepreneur should start with and why?
Okay. How to start your online business. I think that's one of my favorite product that I started, because a lot of people have businesses, but how to start your online business, because I've been able to make money online for the last 15 years. I have never had to have a store. And at first I didn't have the store because I couldn't afford to have a store. I mean,
Facts.
I had $400 and some dollars. You know what I mean? I was
Yep.
like, which I had to borrow from you,
And we
sir.
were in New York, so who's trying
I
to
was
open up
broke,
a store
babe.
in New York?
First of all, I was broke. I was
Yeah.
barely even paying rent.
Yeah.
So I had this business idea, and I remember you came from work 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm starting a hair business. You were like, how? I'm like, I just need $450 to get some hair, and that's literally how this whole thing started.
Yeah.
So I think the online, how to make money online, and because of how I started
It's a big
broke and tight, I was able to start the business broke and tight. So anyone can start a business with like, you don't need a whole lot of money. Like, if you need a couple $1,000s to start something, think about it. All right. There are people that don't have $200 right now, and I could teach them how they can start something with less than $200
True.
online.
True.
So I think the how to start your online business has been one of my love letter to that person, the me back then, who just, I didn't even have I had to borrow the money from you.
You sure did.
So I'm speaking to that
You
person
didn't give
who,
it back to me yet, by the way.
I made up for it, sir. I made up for it. But just to meet someone who's struggling, who doesn't have money,
Yeah.
and I look at him in the eyes, I'm like, you got this. Like, I can teach you how to make money even with no money.
Yeah.
And to be able to actually help him, it just makes me happy.
You'll be surprised how valuable this piece of equipment is to make
What?
and run a business, right? Like, literally, this is all you need.
Yes.
With a tripod.
And a drive.
Yeah.
But people don't want to do it, babe.
I mean, it's easier said than done.
Let me tell you, I spoke to this entrepreneur she's a future entrepreneur, because I'm putting it out there so she can go ahead and just start the business. I hope she watched this podcast. She needs to go ahead and start and stop making excuses. She's like, you know what, Jane? I'll start my business, but I just need to gather some more information and then come up with. I'm like, what are you gathering information? You already know what you need to do. Just do it.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, she's like, I don't have the money. I say, how much do you have? She had like $500. She had the money already, but she thought she needed more.
Yeah.
So yeah, just talking to those people who are just sitting on that really brilliant idea, but they don't want to get started, is shocking to me. But if you're watching this and you're sitting on a good idea, this is your cue to get started.
Execute.
Just make it happen.
Yeah.
Starting a YouTube channel is free. Just start it.
True that.
Yeah.
That. And it's okay if you make mistakes. Like, as long as you're learning from those mistakes, I think, you're going to always be in a good place, right? Because we all make mistakes doing business. But the people that actually are successful are the people that don't let the mistakes hold them back. They learn from it and they just keep evolving and they keep upgrading, right?
The environment, the climate right now, if this doesn't empower you or make you so mad that you start your own stuff and just start with zero, I don't know what will. I mean, I just feel like now more than ever, it's important for everyone to feel empowered to start something. And imagine if we didn't start, babe. I would have still been working at that shoe store, working 60 hours a week and stressed out, not being a good mom and a good wife. I probably would have been single by myself and stressed right now, because he would have left me for sure. So yeah, I'm just keeping it real. Like, go start the business.
You make me sound like a bad person.
No, you're a smart person. I would have left me too. I didn't have any time. Please, I'm just keeping it real. So yeah,
Awesome.
Chef, this has been amazing.
As usual.
Yes. So till the next episode,
Yeah.
make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stop playing games. Okay. And make sure you message us. My Instagram is at the Jane Harris.
At the Jane Harris.
Yeah.
At the Jane Harris.
I'm sorry. At the Jane Harris. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So I'm here.
What's yours?
Mine is Chef Ed. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And anywhere.
Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in.
It's very simple. It's Chef Ed Harris, by the way. Later,
Thank
people.
you for joining us.